Check us out on Patreon, guys, where we give you our exclusive access to all of our videos, 186 videos and counting. We just updated it. That's why I know how many videos is on there.
Bangers too, though. Bangers. Nothing too shabby. I mean, I don't know, like a Led Zeppelin marathon. We got Metallica on there, some Megadeth stuff. I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there, man. So if you're interested, definitely check that out, guys. The link for that will be in the description.
What's up, guys? Your boys are back. I'm Ryan, my man, George.
What's up, guys? How you living out there, man? Shout out to the free thinkers, man.
Yeah, man. So, you know what? We're getting back to the polls, man. Shout out to everybody on Patreon for participating in the 2000s poll. We picked out Boat Thrower, the Killchain from that poll.
Yes.
So shout out to everybody that participated in that, man.
It's a different band. Different band. That's what we wanted. Band. We were like, you know what, man? I mean, we could do, let's look here. Yeah, we could always go back to Alter Bridge. We could always go back to Anthrax. We can always go back to. Actually, we do need to get back to Clutch.
That's true.
That's a band that y'all cannot believe we haven't touched more. So we probably will do that soon. Devin Townsend, Dream Theater. I mean, we could go back to the usual suspects, but
we might.
Yeah, listen, this is what the poll is for. We have this poll as a means for us to always go back to, have songs to go back to that we know at least a decent amount of people want to hear from. But we just wanted to touch a band we haven't touched yet, man. So give the people, that are selecting these bands that don't get a lot of votes or a lot of people don't mention, give them hope that it is possible. You know what I mean? For us to do some suggestions for them. So let's give Boat Thrower a shot here, man. Killchain got 211 votes. So let's rock.
But before we get into it, guys, as always, thank you for liking, subscribing, being patrons, all that kind of good stuff, and helping us out on Deaf to Radio.
Yes.
Our beta site. We're revamping some things behind the scenes, guys. So you may see some fixes and things happening.
Oh yeah.
But
change is coming, man.
Yes.
We working with a few developers, man, to work some tweaks out, man. We may even be, working on some things with an app at some point in the future.
Yep.
So, that's a work in progress. But like Ryan said, man, we really appreciate the people that's been helping us out with that. And again, it's just for those of you who don't know, our site Deaf to Radio, and also our Instagram Deaf to Radio, is really just about helping up and coming artists get some exposure. So for all up and coming artists, I don't care what genre you're in, check out our site, get some music uploaded on the site. So that we can kind of start getting you incorporated on the channel when we get the site really revving forward.
So getting back to Boat Thrower, man, we don't know a lot about this band, but I know we saw in the wiki here that they've been doing that thing since 1986?
80, yeah, they formed in 86.
Couldn't believe that.
Yeah, and they released a band, their first album rather, in 88, right? They formed in 86 and released their first album with Vinyl Solution in 88. They're a death metal band from Coventry, England. It looks like it says here in the genres that they encompass, looks like death metal, death doom, grindcore, and it has early with grindcore. So maybe earlier on, around 88 or whatever, maybe that first album was a grindcore album. And it looks like they were largely influenced by Slayer, Crass, Discharge. We know about Slayer. We don't know about Crass or Discharge. Well, I don't
either.
Okay, so I want to make sure because I don't know Ryan got on, behind the scenes. Maybe he's rocking some Discharge or Crass. I don't want to assume. The band was founded by bassist Gavin Ward and guitarist Barry Thompson in a Coventry pub toilet during a hardcore punk gig. Why do I feel like a lot of bands were formed that way? You know what I'm saying?
In the bathroom
just in the bathroom, just on
man, you know what, man? We could just, I cannot imagine being in a stall pissing next to somebody else and be like, hey, man, you know what we should do? I don't talk to anybody in the stall, first of all, but I can't even imagine being like, I don't care if I know you. You can be you. I'm not talking to you in the stall. We're going to talk when we get out the stall. Let me piss in peace, please. Real quick, guys, man, I got to tell you a quick story, man. I don't know if I even told you this story, George. When I was a kid, man, I had to piss so bad. I had to shit so bad. Excuse me. Let me refer. I had to use the bathroom. Number two, guys. Number two. And I went to the bathroom, and it was just, I forget where I was at, and it was just first of all, I hate even using public bathrooms, so that's full disclosure. And when I went in there, man, it was nasty, and I was like, oh, God, but I had to go so bad. So remember, this bathroom is nasty. Shit's fucked up. The door is broken and shit. I had to force the door open to get into the damn restroom. And then I come up to the stall and it wouldn't open. So I'm like, what the fuck? But it's fucked up. So I'm sitting there I'm kicking the shit and trying to, and the dude that was in there was I'm like, oh shit, sorry. I just thought the door was stuck. You know what I'm saying? The bathroom was fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
How long did it take for him to say, hey? You know
Oh, it was like about 2 seconds.
Okay,
Well,
okay, yeah.
But I'm like, but I had to go. So I went in there hot because I struggled to open the bathroom door. I had to struggle to open that, get in the damn bathroom. So I gotta go, and I'm like, and there's only one stall, so I'm like kicking that shit.
You know the dude in there, he was like, God, please, God, no. Please, that is one of my worst fears, man. Somebody busting in while I'm taking a shit, especially in a public restroom.
I know, man.
You're so vulnerable in that position. You're just like...
So whoever that was, I apologize if that person ever sees this video, man. I did not know. I just thought that the stall was
traumatized
stuck.
my man. That man never ever in his life used a public restroom ever. No one likes to do it. Anyways, man. All right, let's get into it, man. You know, this is very blind. We know nothing about this band, and I can assure you we have not heard anything in passing or of in any capacity with this band. So let's get into it, man. New band for the Lost to Vegas channel, Bolt Thrower, the Killchain. Okay.
Hey.
Technology adapts, location confirmed and conceals. Target codes, assigns, destructively.
Hey, jamming, Drew. Yeah. You know what? That's not bad. That's not bad, man.
Yeah.
I could jam out to that.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
I'm rocking.
That's not bad, man. I mean,
rocking.
I know that it may not be very different from what we've heard, and I'm just speaking from our standpoint of what we heard on the channel. As far as groove, and it seems kind of basic, but I like it. What's being repeated, I like.
Thank you. That's what I couldn't wait to say, Ryan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't mind repetition if I like what's being repeated, because I always look for examples of that, because I know people always just say they'll use it's repetitive, and I'm like, repetitive isn't. Oh, matter of fact, the vast majority of songs I like ever, my top songs ever, the vast majority of them are pretty repetitive.
Yeah.
They're not complicated. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just what's being repeated has to be captivating.
Yeah.
And it's
Yep. Even the drumming in the background too. The drumming is saucy back there. If you don't know what saucy means, man, I'm gonna get you guys a urban dictionary. I'm gonna hook it up for y'all. But it's saucy. It's cool, guys, and it has like a lot of groove within it, because it's like boom, doom, da da, doom, ba doom, ba da da da. I mean, that the drumming in this is very groovy and captivating to me as well, as well as those boom, dum, da dum, dum, da dum. So
and then they went up, they changed it a little bit. And went back to they transitioned out of it and back into it. It just can't go on for that long though. This can't be an 8-minute song.
Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, that's
it
true.
can't be 8 minutes.
Because you'd be like, all right, okay.
What's being repeated? If it's repetitive, it just can't be a long, journey of repetition of the same types of riffs. But if it's short and sweet, and it's repetitive and it sounds good, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? So
even the growls, though. Even the growls to me, which is, again, I'm not a fan of that, but it's not taking me out of the song at all. Actually, not yet, anyway.
They seem really low. It almost seems like it's almost like they're barely detectable. It's weird. Like I can hear something gurgling in the background, but I feel like it's not as like prominent in the mix for whatever reason. I don't know if that's deliberate or maybe it's just not mixed well, but if it's not mixed well, then it's working out in regards to my opinion of the song, because I can't hear them as much. All right, man, let's keep it going, man. This is solid though.
Location confirmed and conceals. Target codes.
Right here.
Assigns. Destructively.
breakdown right there. I gotta pause it. I gotta bring it back. I gotta bring it back. That little, I know that when I said drumming, you guys are probably like, man, this shit's basic as hell. There's no like flashiness or like, or sauciness in the drumming. It's just that little part going into that I'm gonna play it here. I don't want to try to explain the shit. I'm gonna just play that little part again and point at it so you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Basic, right? Basic. Here it comes. Yeah, that's it. Too crazy. Yep.
Words of kill, in violence doesn't sense. Hostile status destroyed. Global network eliminates defense. Enemy evaluation raise. Zero rating.
Yeah, I like that.
Damn. Get right back into it.
Good night chances. Deploy.
Uh-oh. What they gonna do with it? Yeah. I'm in this nasty though.
Enemy evaluation raises.
Yeah. Yeah,
They rocking, Brian. They all rocking. Yep, to your point, Ryan, the drumming is slick, especially in here. Especially in here.
Man, yeah, I love that breakdown right there. And again, guys, we say this a lot, and I'm so glad that the drumming in this particular song just kind of lined up in this fashion because we're straight off the Tool concert, which was fire, by the
Yes.
way. This is our second time going to see them. Shout out to Maynard for the
We appreciate that.
yeah,
man.
for the invite, man.
Big shout out to Maynard for hooking us up.
Yeah,
with
man.
the tickets.
And we will do another song because we heard Push It there, live. And I didn't even know what that was. I had to ask people in the crowd, like, what was the song after they performed the pot? And they were like, man, what is it? I said, was it Push It? And I'm like, Push It. That sounds like a song that's been highly requested that we haven't gotten to. If I was a betting man, which I'm not a betting man, I would say Danny Carey is, if not the best, he is one of the best. There's no debate with that. One of the best technical drummers of all time. That he is just the creme de la creme. It doesn't get much better than that, right? And the drummer in this band is Alan West is what we
bands have a lot of
so
name changes sometimes, but it says Alan West here at a certain point. So
don't quote me on that, but if that's the whoever is drumming in this song, let's put it that way. And I'm comparing the two. Danny Carey wins from a technical aspect all fucking day long. But the point I'm trying to make here is this is very groovy though. The way he's drumming, I just really enjoy that type of style. So the point I'm trying to make is not about who's better and who's worse. It's just different styles give you different emotions. And just because someone may be more technically skilled than another person doesn't mean that you should diminish the other person's skill set. Even if to you doesn't mean that that person isn't great in their own respect, and their own right. So I really want to make that point because I could feel like the drumming in this could be like overlooked just because it's a very generic type of groove and like, well, we've heard that. But, man, we just really enjoy listening to music, man. And when you really hear this song and like take it, try to take the bias out of it and just listen to what's happening, man. This song actually, it rocks like a motherfucker. And
this does rock.
They're killing it.
I'm liking it, man.
Yeah.
I think it bangs. It's not reinventing the wheel. This isn't like we haven't heard something like this, but they got this recipe. They got it down back though. All right, yes indeed. Let's get back to it.
impacts. Designated targets explodes. Icons confirm. Casualties are stats. Weapon control. Order. Lock and load.
Yeah.
No sense of escape. Caught within the mainframe Killchain.
Yeah, they just rock
Yeah,
that.
they rock
They rock that shit. I'm gonna run that one back.
They saucy on
Yeah.
that.
I'm gonna run that one back. Mm-hmm. That's like the that's like, what is it? Like the In-N-Out menu, Raising Cane's menu, man. Not really much to
Yeah,
offer
but
on the
dude-
menu, but what they do have, they do it pretty well,
Yeah,
man.
they killed
you
that.
know what I'm saying?
They killed that.
Not much in the recipe, but sometimes you can put too much salt, you can put too much.
Yep.
You know what is it? What's an easy recipe? I'm a terrible cook, but whatever an easy recipe is, you can fuck up eggs. You know what I'm saying? You can cook them too long, it's eggs. It should be a very easy thing
That's
to
true.
make.
That's
But you
true.
can fuck them up. You can
That's
cook them
so
too
true.
long. It can be too runny, depending on who you know what you want out of them. So
Yep.
you can fuck them up easily. But they just got that very simple recipe. I want to call it simple because we know that it all takes skill. I'm not saying this is simple, but it doesn't seem like out of in comparison to a lot of the thrash that we've heard, because we've heard some high level shit, obviously, that this is necessarily on that type of level of just the most elite shit. But they do this thrash thing / death metal, whatever you want to call
Whatever you want to call it.
very well, and it didn't seem like too much went into some of these riffs, but they just hit hard. The tone was there. Drumming, good, solid, saucy. You know what I'm saying? Vocals didn't take us out of it. Just enough variation so that the repetition in this, in my opinion, didn't get boring. You know what I'm saying? They got just enough variation in it. It was boom, 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 boom. Then it was boom, 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 right? These different changes, and they brought you right back to the chunky heaviness of the initial groove, which sounded good. And I just thought this is just a good joint, good metal song, man. That's playlist for me.
Yeah, playlist for me too, man. I don't have much to add to that, man. I just want to touch on the lyrics very, very quickly here, man. The name of the song is The Killchain, so it kind of takes us, it seems like the song is just kind of taking us through the proper chain of command to
Kill somebody?
to kill something. Digitally mapped, virtual scan reveals art of war, technology adapts, location confirmed. If that was the subject matter, I would have rather them kind of get into like a little bit more of the detail, because they're just saying like key words here to kind of be in line with the title of the song. But I would have liked a little bit more depth when it comes to that. If you're gonna take on something like this, the Killchain, I think that's a cool, unique way of talking about the progression in war or in engagement, in some kind of battle. So I think that that's cool, but I felt like they kind of just gave you just, velocity impact, designated target explodes, icons confirmed. It's just, kind of expound a little bit on that. But outside of that, man,
But can I comment on
Yeah,
that,
go
Ryan?
ahead.
But like those songs on what is it, man? I'm trying to think of a hip hop song that's really just about certain lyrics that are just more anthemic. It's kind of like XX Tentacion. Like he's got a song called "Look at Me." I don't recommend that for you metalheads. I don't recommend that.
I don't even recommend that.
Yeah, it's not for the metalheads to
or motherfuckers that listen
Yeah,
to
it's just.
that. No, I'm just joking.
I'm just purely for
Rest in
example,
peace, though, man.
Rest in peace to that man. But it's just for example purposes. He's got a song called "Look at Me," and in the chorus, he's like, "Hey, can't keep my dick in my pants." Whoa, whoa. It's not about at all what he's saying. It's about the energy of the song, the distortion in
Yeah.
the bass. It's the
right.
boom, dun, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And when you see it live, you get it. You see the kids going crazy. Can't keep my dick in my pants. Hey, the lyricism is just nonsensical. It's just what it is. It's meant to just it's meant to provide a certain energy, and I just feel like when
That's
it
what
says
that was.
designate annihilate, perpetrate. You know what I'm saying?
Target lock.
Target locked, annihilate. It's not meant to be,
Right,
that have much. I get what you're saying. Though. It was the idea, the
Because
premise.
I think it's cool.
The premise of
Yeah.
taking you through the kill chain of
Yeah.
of a detonation or whatever the case
That would be
may
awesome.
would be fire.
Yeah, it would be.
But I think obviously it's just you hear vocals like this and you hear that this is just a straight up, more of a straightforward,
Yeah.
heavy banger that is just it's just a backseat. It's just they're just taking a backseat to the music. That's all.
Yep. But outside of that, though, the music itself, musically, yeah, that's playlist. I'm gonna bang that. I'm gonna bang that.
And one thing, thank you for saying that, Ryan. And one thing I wanted to point out because I was looking for this, but I didn't want to be rude to Ryan while he was talking because I wanted to look in the comments to see if I could find this guy because when we did the Rivers of Neo video, he was just like, so in other words, just any death metal request, just forget it. Just no, they're not gonna fuck with any death metal and yada yada yada. Here's a death metal song. We can point to others, Neo Oblivious Karis with death metal vocals.
That's true.
I mean, y'all just think because we don't like a couple songs, 2 or 3, and maybe we won't like the vast majority, but it doesn't mean
you know just write the shit off.
Yeah, and I get why that they could say they could say something like that because I'm very emphatic about not liking death metal vocals at all. But that doesn't mean that there aren't songs that can't win me over. But the sauce has to be right. The recipe has to be right musically, and the vocals can't just be so prominent and so overbearing on the track where it just takes me out of the song. So it just depends on the band and how they put it together,
That's
man.
true.
You know, so there isn't really any fucking genre has something that we're gonna. I guarantee you that we can listen to anything. Well, I think we'll be able to listen to pretty much anything. And we'll find something in said genre that we'll like. So keep giving us suggestions.
Yeah, man.
This is a win. Just wanted to point that out, to my man. I know you were discouraged. Here's a death metal song that made our playlist. All right, man. Shout out to Bolt Thrower, man. I mean,
yeah, that was fun, man.
I don't know if this is gonna be a one and done with them in terms of songs we like, but they definitely deserve another listen. So keep giving us suggestions for Bolt Thrower, man.
Yeah.
That was a surprise, man.
And that is another good thing about these polls, guys. Even if your song doesn't win, we can always go back to them. That's why we put so many songs on these polls now, because we can go back to things and start rediscovering.
Yes.
Because that's one of the things that I think that George and I both loved about what we did, man. It's because we were exposed to new bands and new music that we're like, man, this is actually dope.
Yes.
That wasn't, and kind of put you guys on a couple too. I've seen that in the comments. So man, participate in the polls, man. That's the moral of the story, because we will go back to them and pick out songs even if they don't win and even if they're kind of low, but it's a new band or something like that.
Definitely doesn't mean just because the your song didn't technically win the poll, it doesn't mean that it won't be listened to. We're gonna go back to them. So yes, thank you for pointing that out, sir. And that's it. That's the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed that, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And also, guys, we have a Patreon channel. If you're interested, it will allow you to get exclusive access to our content. The link for that will be in the description. I'm George. That's Ryan. Lost to Vegas.
We out.